Who you really are at the deepest level cannot be hurt, diminished, or affected in any way by outside circumstances. We all come into this world with a core self that goes by many names. True self, soul, our true essence, or self-energy. This is who we are when there are no problems to solve. The internal family systems calls this true self our self-energy. When we can rest as self-energy, we often feel spacious, centered, kind, compassionate, and open. Yet being a human in the world, we have evolved to seek safety, seek nourishment, and to attach to caregivers to enable those things. Unfortunately, we can't just live in this blissful state of self-energy all the time. Our brains evolve to compartmentalize into different parts so that we have the best chance of surviving. As little babies and children, we learn from very early that certain things get us love and nourishment and safety, and certain things take us away from that. So parts of us take on roles that help us get more of what we want and less of what we don't want. As little children, even if we had pretty much perfect childhood, we all had times of feeling bad, sad, ashamed, scary, and overwhelmed. If there wasn't an adult able to help us soothe and make sense of that experience, the part of us holding those unprocessed feelings gets exiled into the metaphorical basement of our psyche so that we never have to feel those awful feelings again. Sometimes the joy, radiance, and exuberance of little children is shamed and criticized and punished too, and we learn to shut away these beautiful parts of ourselves as well. To keep the basement door shut, other parts develop strategies and roles that keep the feelings of the exiled inner children far from consciousness. These manager parts do all sorts of things for this cause. Many people have perfectionist parts, for example, that believe if they just do everything perfectly, then the humiliation the little one felt when they made a mistake and got yelled at can be avoided. Most people will have an inner critic of some description. For some people, this voice is really loud and mean, and for others it's more of a whisper. All of our parts are trying to help, even the inner critic. Maybe the hope of the inner critic is to try and get in first by shaming and criticizing you so that you change your behavior before anyone else has a chance to criticize you. And in that way, they keep the pain of the inner children locked away. Another common manager part is the caretaker. If this part can make sure that everyone else is calm, happy, and has their needs met, they won't do things that scare, shame, or upset the inner child, and the system won't have to experience those awful feelings. But of course, this only feels good for so long. At some point, other parts will feel so much resentment that needs are not being attended to, while everyone else is looked after outside, that other parts will go into shutdown or perhaps blow up in anger. And of course, life is painful at times, so the feelings of the exiled inner children do leak out from the basement door. And at times, the door may even be flung open to reveal an inconsolable little one inside of us. When this happens, there are other protective parts of our system that go into emergency mode to get the door shut. These are known as firefighter parts because they react in order to hose out the fire of painful thoughts and feelings. They do this through distraction, avoidance, numbing, soothing, lashing out. They might use daydreaming, compulsive behaviors, substances, food, any other way they can find. Often the manager parts and the firefighter parts have massive internal struggles. Let's say my partner snaps at me. One of my inner children cracks open the door to tell me about the pain of how Dad would be short with me when he was stressed, and I'm flooded with feelings that haven't been processed from childhood. So my firefighter part goes to the fridge and eats a bunch of chocolate that we usually have just one piece of a night. And then I feel sick, and a critical manager part of me starts to say mean things like, why can't you control yourself? No wonder your partner isn't being kind to you. You're so gross. And the pain of my little one inside is never dealt with, but I suffer nonetheless. Through knowing about my parts, instead of getting stuck in this cycle, I can go inside, I can go somewhere quiet for a moment and be with the pain of my 5-year-old. I can ask her to tell me about her feelings and concerns and ask her what she needs from me. I can request that she make some room for my self-energy to be present and lead, so I can go and speak to my partner from the heart and express the impact of the way he spoke to me. There might still be a choice to eat some chocolate, but it's done out of enjoyment, not as a way to stop feeling. Self-leadership can become so much fun when all parts learn that they can have time with me and that their needs and opinions are important, as long as they don't take over and flood me. At this point in my journey, I can't always have access to self-energy. Sometimes a part totally takes over. But even in those moments, I'm aware that it is a part and that my self-energy is actually who I really am. And so I no longer panic or struggle when this happens.